Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video is going to be my 23 for 23. So 23 books that I want to read this year that I'm excited about. There's going to be some new releases. I'm going to be talking about things that haven't come out yet, some new releases, and then also some kind of backlist titles. I've got my iced coffee and I think we're ready to go. I've got my laptop here, I made a list. I think I'm going to go from kind of things that are going to publish this year to new-ish releases and then just books that I've got on my shelves. They're all here next to me. When I made this list, I made all of these synopses quite short. Firstly, because a lot of these things I just don't know much about. Secondly, to keep it a bit shorter because 23 books are a lot of books to talk about. So first of all, The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz, I think her name is. This comes out on the 21st of February, so quite soon. This is a thriller about a young author attending an exclusive writing retreat where the attendees have to finish a novel from scratch within a month. From what I've heard, strange things start to happen, clearly, since this is a thriller. I love that this kind of centres around a retreat, that it's got more of an isolated vibe. This sounds like it could be really fun. I'm quite excited to read this. Next up, this one I'm also super excited about. I think I can see myself in this a little bit. It's Y/N, so Your Name, by Esther. I think it's called Yi. I'm not sure how you pronounce the author's name, but I'm just going to go with Yi. This is publishing on the 21st of March, so also not that far away. It centres around a Korean girl living in Berlin, which the last Berlin-based novel that I read, I didn't really like, which was Fake Accounts. I'm not the biggest Berlin fan in general, but what I am a fan of is parasocial relationships, which, from what I understand, this also talks about fandoms. I think the main character is a huge K-pop fan, I think one person specifically, and she kind of takes her obsession or her being a fan a bit far. Sounds like a vibe, sounds like me in a parallel universe. Next up is a new Emily Henry, also Do You Love My Hair? It's basically a hair wash day, but I just couldn't be bothered yet. Anyway, new Emily Henry. I'm sure that loads of people are excited about this and have got this on their radars. I'm not a romance reader at all, but for some reason Emily Henry's books, I love them. They're really like wholesome to me. They just give me something, like they're just a vibe to me. So this one specifically is about a couple that have broken up some months ago, and for some reason they have to pretend to still be together for this like annual holiday that they take with their friends every year. I don't know what I think about that premise. It doesn't sound that promising to me, but I do trust Emily Henry. Hers are basically the only romances that I ever pick up, so we'll see. I'm sure she can make something good out of that premise. Next up is The Guest by mckeen. Again, one that I've already heard a lot of buzz about and it's still not even out. I've actually been approved for this on NetGalley, so I can hopefully read it soon. It sounds like it's sort of about a lost woman who pretends to be someone else. I think it's taking place in Long Island. That's kind of all I know, and that's all I need to know. I would pick it up regardless. I didn't really love her short story collection, Daddy, but I loved the girl, so super excited about that one. Then Happy Couple by Natasha Dolan. This one comes out on the 25th of May. I'm so excited that Natasha Dolan is publishing a new novel. I loved Exciting Times, as many other people did as well. Again, one I don't know much about. I know that this is about a couple who are planning to get married soon. I know that it's also about unrequited loves and lives and kind of plots that are intersecting. I think there's different POVs. It sounds vibey, it sounds plotty, it sounds like something that could be really fun to read. Coming out on the 4th of July is the new Clarke novel called Penance. I've not actually read Boy Parts yet, but I've heard so much about it. Boy Parts is actually coming up later on this list. It's part of my 23 books. But I'm still excited for her new novel nonetheless. This is, I think, about a true crime podcast and about a murder, which the true crime podcast covers. It's about people's obsession with true crime, podcast specifically, what's real, what people add to it, kind of the way that people interact with them and how it's become kind of a hobby. I'm pretty sure that's kind of the vibe of the novel. Again, don't know much about it. All right, 11th of July, Glossy by Marisa Meltzer. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. Again, not sure. This is about the beauty company Glossier. I am a Glossier girly at heart. I can't deny it. Initially, I thought this would be kind of like a tell-all about Glossier, since it includes interviews with former employees, and Glossier hasn't been viewed in the best light for a while. But then I saw that the founder, and I think ex-CEO Emily Wise, is also included in this book. So I think it's more of a story about how Glossier made it to be so big, and how it kind of rose from the ground as like an online company, and now it's huge. Still exciting. Can't wait for this. I'm not sure what the vibe of this is going to be, but I don't really need to know that. I'm still going to pick it up. This next one is one that I'm so excited about. This is probably one of my most anticipated books of this year, and it's Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I know that this hasn't got a publishing date yet. I know that it comes out later on in the year, I think like autumn time. But Melissa Broder is one of my favourite authors there is. I love her. I love her podcast. I just love everything she puts out. Premise-wise, there's nothing really out there yet. On Goodreads, it just says Death Valley is a novel about grief that becomes a story of survival in the California desert. Sounds amazing. It sounds very Melissa Broder to me. I know that her dad died last year or the year before that, I'm not sure. So I'm interested to see how that kind of translates into her writing about grief. But she's, again, one of those people that just read anything from. I love that woman. Next up is Tear by mckeen. I've not heard anyone talk about this. I can't remember how I even came across this. I know that it's a horror novel about a girl living quite an isolated life. Her roommates sometimes even forget about her. I think she kind of comes to question reality, what's real, what's not. I also heard that it talks about female rage, so all of those things sound super interesting to me. So definitely one I'm going to pick up. Next up is The Novelist by Castro. I've seen this kind of about on the internet. I've seen people talk about it. I think it's about a man trying to write his first novel. Don't know much more about it. It's giving self-reflection. It's giving overthinking. We love it. That's all I need to know. Forgot to say that now we've moved on to books that have already been published. When do things start to be backlisted? I'm not sure. Is there like a cut-off date, like it has to be published that long? I don't know, but these are all relatively recent. So one of those recent books is Sirens and Muses by Antonia Angress. I don't know. It's set in 2011. It's about 4 art students in New York. It's kind of giving vibes of obsession. It's giving dark academia. I don't know more about it. I don't need to. Sounds great. Okay, this one I've actually got here, the next one. I got this for Christmas from my sister's girlfriend, actually. So it's You've Lost a Lot of Blood by larocca. I've read 2 of their novels, novellas, and I really enjoyed the writing style. I enjoyed the content somewhat, but I really enjoyed the writing style. So I definitely wanted to pick up more of their books. This is, not sure if it's still classed as novella, but it's about 200 pages. All that I know about this one is that it features a book within a book, and I really like it when books do that, or authors do that. I think larocca writes exclusively horror, and they do it so well, so super excited. Then after that we've got Cold Enough for Snow. Where is it? Here. This is one of the most beautiful covers ever. I actually bought this in Brooklyn because I've not seen this cover here in Germany. It might be the American cover, I'm not sure. So this is a story about a mother and a daughter who are both travelling to Tokyo. I think they meet in Tokyo because they're so short. I didn't really look at the premise too much. But everyone I've seen that read this really enjoyed it. And I've also seen this in quite a few favourite books of last year videos. So I'm basically certain that I'm going to enjoy this as well. Next up is Tender is the Flesh. This is a horror novel about a near future world where a virus has broken out that has made animal meat inedible for humans. So humans have resorted to cannibalism, clearly. The ending of this is shocking. I heard that it's like gruesome, makes you feel sick, but I'm sure that's the point of it. But it sounds super intriguing and something that I'm probably going to really like. Next up, we've got another one that I was super anticipating last year, actually, which is Either Or by Elif Batuman. This is the sequel to The Idiot. This is the book that I'm currently reading and loving. I want to say that The Idiot is probably my favourite book if I had to narrow it down, so I still don't know how it took me this long to pick it up. It's been published for months and months, but I was just so apprehensive that I wasn't gonna love it as much. But clearly I was wrong and I already really enjoy it. It's so exciting to be back in Selin's world and be back in her head. I'm not sure if there's anything happening plot-wise. I don't need it to. So I can't really tell you the plot of this either, because I'm not sure there is really one. I think it's just kind of a continuation of Selin's story. With the next two books, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I put two books in the place of one because they're both by Sheila Heti. They both are the same author, that counts, right? It's Motherhood and Pure Colour. Do you ever have those authors where you just think, I know I'm going to love them, I know I'm going to love what they write, but I haven't picked up anything yet? That, for me, is Sheila Heti. I've had Motherhood lying on my shelves for, I think, over a year, and somehow I've not picked it up. This I picked up when I recently went to London because it was half price. Love that. Motherhood is Sheila Heti meditating on motherhood, funnily enough, whether or not she wants to have children. I've heard nothing but, honestly, not even just good, but amazing things about this. I think this is like a book that changes people's lives. Pure Colour is a more, I think, philosophical look at the world. It's playing with form. I think it's also about grief. So this is also one that I've heard mostly good things about. But I think you need to go into it with kind of an open mind, which I'm happy to do. Okay, we're slowly but surely getting through these. Next up is 3 Rooms by Jo Hamya. This, on the surface, I think, is about a girl in Oxford looking for a flat, but really it's about breakfast. I was going to say breakfast. It's about Brexit, the cost of living, unemployment rate in the UK. Sounds so up my street. Again, not sure how I've not read this. Then we've got Conversations on Love. Isn't this edition just so beautiful? Like, this cloth-bound spine is just so gorgeous. This is a collection of essays on love by a lot of authors that I really, really enjoy. I mostly picked this up because Roxane Gay has got an essay in this, but also people like Dolly Alderton, Lisa Taddeo, a lot of people that you probably already read and loved. I was just thinking, should I read this for Valentine's Day? And then I realised I don't care about Valentine's Day. I'm not sure what my thought process there was. Okay, next up. Just Kids by Patti Smith. I, as I said, was recently in London and I went to Dawn Books, which is the most gorgeous bookstore there probably is in the world. And I saw this and I had this on my radar for years, like 10 years ago. I remember seeing this on 1975 Tumblr and still not picked it up. But one of my friends, Anna, really likes this and I messaged her and I was like, do you think I'm going to like this? And she said yes. So that's why I finally picked it up. When I bought this, the guy at the till also, he was like the English version of what's his name, Joe Goldberg from You, and he was like, this is an amazing book. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you on this. So yeah, 2 people have told me that I'm going to enjoy this, so I'm sure I will. This is about, what did I put down for this? Let's see. Okay, cool. All I put down about this is about Patti Smith's relationship and about New York in the 60s. So there we go, that's what this is about apparently. Okay, next up we've got Hunger by Roxane Gay, which is probably the single most ugliest cover that there is in the world. I don't know why. This is literally just like a stock image of a fork, which is just horrible. But oh well. Roxane Gay might be my single favourite author there is. I've got about 4 or 5 I want to say, but she might take the cake, I want to say. This is a memoir about her body, about body image, about hunger and food. I know that she has experienced something quite traumatic when she was a bit younger, which has then led to her gaining a lot of weight. So I don't want to say I'm looking forward to, but I'm interested to see how she is writing about that. I think this is one that I really want to take my time with. So that was probably the reason I've not picked it up yet, but it's one that I always have in the back of my head that I really want to get to soon. So I think this is going to be the year. Also, very, very, very excitingly, Roxane Gay is coming out with a new book, I think in October, or I know that it's definitely towards the end of the year. Don't know anything about it. I don't think she's said anything about it yet, but I've just seen on Instagram that she is coming out with one and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I love that woman to death. So next up, we've got Swordwater. Where is it? Here, Swordwater by Jessica Andrews. When this first came out, this was like all over Bookstagram, just like a newer novel, which I think is called Milk Teeth. So I think it's about time for me to pick up. This is about a young woman who has moved to London and she feels lost and lonely. So she decides to move to a remote part of Ireland. I think her granddad lived there, or he's, I don't know. I know she's got some connection to it. I heard that it's about class, about growing up in the northeast. All of those things are things that I'm interested in, so let's see. Like I said, Boy Parts by Eliza Clarke is on this list. All I've heard about this is that it is disgusting, it's dark, and it gets wild. This is about a young woman who is a photographer, and her hobby is to kind of take pictures, or explicit pictures I should say, of men. I don't know, that premise sounds really cool to me, but I'm not sure where this is going to go. But I guess in 2023 we will find out. And then last but definitely not least is Writers and Lovers by, I was going to say Emily Henry. That's Book Lovers by Lily King. This is set in 1997. We follow a woman who is grieving her mum's death. She's also like stuck in a rut trying to write her first novel. And I know that she falls in love with two different men, but what I'm most excited about this is the writing style, because I've heard so many people say that they really love the writing in this, and that has also been compared to Sally Rooney, so sounds like a lot of things that I am into. That, I think, wraps up my 23 books for 2023. Exciting. I really want to get to all of these this year, and I'm confident that I will do so. I'm gonna have a look at the end of the year if I achieve my goal, but I think it's quite realistic, because honestly I'm just so excited for all of these. When I look at these books, I just feel joy, which is such a nice thing when you're into reading, isn't it? That's like the best feeling to have. Anyway, that's me done gushing about books. Thank you as always for watching. I really appreciate it. I'd love to know what your books are that you're excited about reading this year. It doesn't have to be new releases, can be backlists. A lot of these are obviously backlist. So yeah, if you would like to let me know, I'll be happy to hear about them. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.